Hey guys, it's me, Yukina Takanashi again, and welcome to my first narrated speed paint. I decided to make this video also a Q&A for my ongoing fanfic, Bloody Crown, because, well, why not? I've been privately sent a few questions about my fanfic, so I'm going to answer them all here. So, to start us off, Bloody Crown is a medieval fantasy fanfic that has a lot of events and characters based on real-life English history. For those of you who've read my fanfic so far, you'll already know that this story mainly involves the characters from Toji no Miko trying to fight for the Kamakura throne, most notably those from the noble houses of Origami and Hiiragi. A primary question I got was what inspired this, and that would be the War of the Roses, a civil war for the English throne that took place in the 15th century between the houses of Lancaster and York. For several centuries, the Origamis and Hiiragis fight against one another, but the Origamis always win. This is because every single Hiiragi always became mad with power and caused their own undoings. Why this is hasn't been revealed yet, and you'll have to wait until later on in the fanfic. Some of you have also been asking about whether the Kamakuran Reformation in Chapter 4 was inspired by the English Reformation, and the answer would be yes. For those of you who haven't read Bloody Crown, I'll try to explain as briefly as possible. The Kamakuran Reformation involves Yukari and Akane's backstory when they were just children. Their mother, Queen Nariko IV, who is based off the infamous King Henry VIII, basically divorced her husband, Origami Yoshikazu. Yoshikazu is based off of Henry's first wife, Catherine of Aragon. The reason why Nariko divorced Yukari and Akane's father was that she could marry the nobleman Hiiragi Yuto, based off of Anne Boleyn. To do this, Nariko broke away from the Church of Amaterasu, which was inspired by the Catholic Church, to create a new reformed religion, the Church of Aradama. Yuto merely married Nariko for political gain and to perhaps acquire the throne himself, but Yukari and Akane were absolutely devastated. Yukari was seething mad because Nariko declared her illegitimate and took away her line of succession, and Akane was upset because she was a devout follower of the Church of Amaterasu, perhaps even a religious fanatic. Akane is inspired by Mary Tudor, or more infamously known as Bloody Mary. Anyway, as a result, Yukari absolutely despises her stepsister, Hiiragi Kagari, and she is now living the life of a princess, her former life. This royal life for the House of Hiiragi is short-lived, however, once Yukari gets her cousin, Yukina, to frame Yuto for treason, and he is beheaded as a result. Nariko then dies from poisoning, courtesy of Yukina, and Yukari took the throne at age 12. That is my brief explanation for Chapter 4. Another thing I wanted to discuss was about one of the many Yuri pairings in my fanfic, and that would be Ellen and Kaoru's relationship. In my fanfic, Kaoru is the adoptive sister of Ellen, along with her lover. However, according to the Church of Amaterasu, the dominant religion of the Kamakura Empire, romance between siblings, both blood-related and through adoption, is considered illegal and incestuous. Ew. The punishment for this is beheading, and so as a result, one of Ellen and Kaoru's many struggles is keeping their love affair a secret. You may be wondering what inspired this. Ellen and Kaoru are based off of Lucrezia and Cesare Borgia, two noble siblings who supposedly had an incestuous relationship. Whether this is true or not is uncertain, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And now for the last question I received. Is Hiyori going to turn evil from her apparent hunger for power, and since her ancestors became evil in the past? Unfortunately, that is not a question I'm willing to directly answer at the moment, but you guys will have to wait until the third arc of the story. I will give a hint though. She is based off of two people from history, King Henry VII, also known as Henry Tudor, and Queen Joanna of Castile, mostly remembered as the Mad Queen. If you search up their stories, you might get an idea of Hiyori's fate later on. If you haven't read Bloody Crown, I will put a link in the description below. That's all for now. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.